Go. I do believe we are live. So say indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again on another Conscious Evolution. I feel a lot better today. I have lumped my traumas into my previous traumas. And now it feels like my traumas of recent are further away than they actually are. And it's helping. I sent some messages today figuring out if I can get myself some new earphones tomorrow. So that mission has already been queued, has been put in the objective list. So by tomorrow, that problem should be fixed. And I think we will have to wait a while before we get a new speaker. Right. I don't know if I'm gonna stop dancing on Wednesdays. That feels like the wrong answer. But we'll figure something out. Maybe it won't be as stumpy for a while. But then maybe by the end of this year, we can buy a new speaker. Slowly but surely. Love is true. Thank you, friends, for joining me. Today's stream topic is about figuring it out. How figuring it out is overrated, technically speaking. That's technically what inspired today's stream topic. Literally the line, figuring it out is overrated. Yesterday, I was very much in this space of trying to figure it out. Trying to figure out if I am at fault, if I am being taught some sort of lesson and I'm not learning the lesson I'm supposed to learn, figuring out what I'm supposed to do about the situation, right? Do I now drive through to the police station again? Do I stay up at night and defend my home? Do I buy more security equipment? Do I, right? So much energy spent in trying to figure this out. And it's pretty overrated. It's not fun. Is that Sam? San Frontilio? Amen. It's definitely overrated. Bless you, Sam. Thank you for joining. Yeah, it's a bit overrated, dude. It's. I wonder if it's societal brain damage, right? That we, as entities, have been so posed as problem solving things, more so than anything else, that we find ourselves ceaselessly in the state of figuring it out. During yoga today, I mentioned that technically, we're always in this state of figuring it out as people. Life is ultimately a act of figuring it out. So I don't know if we can necessarily escape it, but it is overrated, right? Overrated in this moment for me means that we give it too much importance. We rate it too high in our order of priorities. And I feel like that is causing us some difficulty. I think I have seen your name before. Have I? Sam Sanfratello. It's a cool surname you have, if that's your surname. I feel like I would have remembered. If you're new here, Sam, let us know where you're from. Where did you find us? Did you find us through the YouTube algorithm, or did you find us? Yay! It's back again. Our internet DC for a second. Yo, other Sam. There's two Sams now. Hot damn. It's Guy Sam, Girl Sam, and Guy Sam. In Buddhism, there is a focus on nowness. Yeah. The middle way, right? Because figuring it out very much is, I don't know if it's necessarily an act of desperation. That feels like a little bit heavy of a label. But there can be, right? When we are desperate, there is a lot of trying to figure it out energy going on. And when we live in the now, I feel at least it's a little bit less of that figuring it out energy. Because in part, right, like we as human beings spend a lot of time thinking in two mediums. We either spend a lot of time thinking about our past, about what had happened, about what was said, about a circumstance, a mistake you made, etc., right? Ruminating, thinking about it over and over again, right? So again, thought, figuring it out based in the past. And then if it's not that, for a lot of us, it is the future, right? Thinking about new business opportunities, thinking about plans for the weekend, thinking about what we're going to eat tomorrow or this afternoon, thinking about what we want to do, thinking about time frames of how long we have to do things in order to do other things also in the future. And Sam beautifully shares that there is this energy necessary right now for us of being in the nowness. Because I don't know if you need to figure out the now, right? Is there any figuring out of the now necessary? I would say no. I would say no. However, the reason I'm like not sure if I want to say no is because when you find yourself in, for example, the psychedelic state of mind, there is this energy of not knowing what's going on in this moment, right? Like I can articulate to myself that I am a human person that has a plethora of organs that work together to extract energy from my digestive tract to then use that energy to power a brain, which then allows consciousness a lens to look through and to see into this moment. Around me, I see a building, I see trees, I see human infrastructure, right? There's not a lot I have to figure out. At least I don't think so. But then again, I can find myself in this moment, and I do. And I do find myself in this moment. Considering how I'm supposed to be, right? I'll think about future scenarios, or potential future scenarios, or potential present moments that could, in my future, be a scenario. And then I spend time thinking about my thinking. I'll let myself think something, and then I'll think about what I just thought. And then I'll think about the thoughts I just had about my first thinking. And then eventually I'll find some sort of purity, some sort of truth in my reasoning. But there's a lot of figuring it out going on in that moment. And it doesn't, I don't know if it's not fun, but it is work kind of vibe. So depends on what your relationship with work is. Is that Hoopy? Bless you too. I see Kristen here as well. Meltmore, that scarf is fire. I do like this scarf. It's so nice. This is a scarf gifted to us by TJ. He hasn't been in stream in like 3 years. It's been like 2.5 years, but his scarf remains actively hugging us. Let me get it. Oh, there we go. Oh, I am Burb. This eye feels more sinister than this one. Maybe just a matter of how I use it. Even more butamus. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I'm kind of just surprised of how well it's keeping up for the material that it's made of, because it's very stretchy material, right? I was thinking that's gonna fall apart on me, but it's been sticking around. Has cool colors to make flowers with as well. Just to honor Jovan, I wanna show you yesterday's flower. Her description or her comment on this flower was the pressure and fire in this one. It feels energetically still, sharply soft, and distressingly delightful. How it can be all of these things all across the board and yet so focused. Your work is beautiful. And that's a very nice thing. And this is the flower that prompted that interpretation. Light is not helping my case. Those are my words. They are. They're literally. I haven't cleared the notification because I keep reading it over and over again. All right, I think this might be better. Hey, just showing you flower. There's some more pixels to spare. You can see I put some anger some anger in there. The red and orange help the angry, but I haven't looked at this one yet. Wowie. I really do like this one bunches. This bright in the middle with a little black, well, purplish center. Yeah. Share hearts. Thank you. Thank you again, beloved friends, for supporting and loving my work, lending me your eyes so I may show you beautiful things. Is this better than the previous perspective? I think it's worse light, technically speaking. Yes. Yes, I see 5 red swords. I now see only swords. So many swords. It would be pretty badass having a sword with a hilt like that. Techno sword. Your red techno sword. Technically within the digital plane we can make our swords out of any material, so it doesn't have to be silver or metal. I'm from New York. Amazingly, I found you years ago on Reddit. Then last month it started showing you on my feed. Bless you, YouTube. Thank you for showing me on Sam's feed. That's so nice. So kind of you. Even more cute than this. She is Sam. We're a unit now. I hope you were attracted to your... You weren't attached to your individuality or anything. Yeah, we are Sam. Sam says. Us. Us, Sam. No, me, Sam. No, us. Us, Sam. One of us. Oh, hi, those are my words. I haven't looked at this one. Bless you again. That's Redbubble Gold. I need to start uploading them. I'll do it right now. Watch. I'll go there. And I'll press this button. And then I'll go melting flowers. And then I'll go plussy. And then I'll go upload. And then I'll find this one. There we go. Now it's getting uploaded. So many of them. One day we'll have some sort of bot. I don't know if it's have to be a bot. It's probably just going to be me in the short term. I'll have a rabbit that can automatically, as soon as I finish the coloring, automatically go through the process of uploading it. Because I'm not doing it because I don't want to. I just do it because I don't think about it. And it's not a part of the fractal just yet for me. But thank you, Kristen, for reminding me. Woo, uploads. Thank you. Yeah. I'm getting some hectic deja vu right now. This whole exchange of me uploading things and showing you how I'm doing it it's messing with me a bit. Apparently, deja vu is when your brain, instead of writing a memory, this present memory, into your short-term memory for then later long-term memory storage, it just writes it straight to your long-term memory. So in your brain, you suddenly experience this moment as a long-term memory. And you might have not guessed, but most of your long-term memories were experienced a long time ago. All right. So it messes with you for a second. It's messing with me still. Sam, Kristen, meow. Likely Lozana and other lurkers, Melton more. I love this. I love you too, Jovan. Thank you for joining us. For blessing our friends with your presence and your attention too. I'm gonna pack myself some of White Rhino Vino 2. Number 2 of the plants I grew. This one is the dangerous one. This one is the one that, one of my favorite descriptions that John has given me is the one that makes your oorkik skill, which directly translates to it makes you go cross-eyed. It doesn't actually make you go cross-eyed. It's just strong enough to make you think about going cross-eyed. Joe, love you. Thank you, Sam, for honoring our Herr Chauvin. All right. What's my intention? Relenting my need to always figure things out. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to relent. Do I want to relent? I'll relent for now. Yeah, I think figuring it out as an energy, sort of some sort of function, there is purpose to it. However, I just think that is not our purpose. Maybe that's the way we should reframe this whole experience. Yes, figure things out. But remember, you are not here to figure things out. Right? Figure things out is kind of like it's like a side mission. It's like one of those things that arise when you realize things need to be figured out. For example, my stuff got stolen, and now I need to get new earphones in order to be able to give my yoga classes the way I do, right? Standing from a distance, queuing. So I had to figure it out. I had to go look online. I had to send messages. I had to do distance trip planning. I had to do budgeting for fuel. Like, there was some figuring it out. And now that it's figured out, I don't have to stress about that right now. Is that Agent 427? Bless you again, friends. Nice seeing your name. We have Zano here too. Bless you. Maybe the key to figuring it out is realizing you don't have to figure out everything. Maybe that is the key. If I'm not going to be figuring out everything, what is important to figure out in that case? Right, Agent? I'm reframing. And I know it's Cartha. It's not Cartha anymore, it's Agent 427. Hope the community is doing great. No, you were enough, friends. Thank you. Bless you, Agent K. Bless you. This is true. What am I supposed to figure out? Because one of the things I want to figure out is a world hunger, the housing crisis, the potential water wars of the future, capitalism. Just casual things, you figure out on a Sunday, as you do. World peace, ceasefires, like the casual figuring of out. But no, be present in this moment. Look at the clouds, look at the trees. Breathe. All right. That's enough intention for me. Bless you again, Zano. Also important to consider that you can't figure it out all of that. You can't figure it all out. These terpenes are kicking me in the nose right here. That's. Thank you so much, Mama Guy. All right. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Kristen. You can't figure it all out. Like, that is one of those things that might be sure. Now that we are literally tricking rocks into thinking, building things that will eventually supersede our own intelligence, create super intelligent machines, maybe this act of figuring it out will be made obsolete. Will all of our problems be solved? And will we have less to figure out? I think maybe this is the joke. Maybe this is the cosmic giggle we can kind of acknowledge in today's stream, is that even if the robots come and AI is the greatest, we can imagine, and it solves every single one of our problems, our housing problems, our food problems, our energy problems, our medical problems, all of these things are all figured out. We're still going to be figuring things out. In fact, we might actually end up spending more time trying to figure out ourselves. And I'm trying to understand if there is some sort of end to that, right? Am I gonna reach a day in which I now understand myself? I have figured myself out, and then I can just kind of go on about my life in that figured out state, like a Rubik's Cube solved. I can leave it on the cupboard. I can leave it on the little, shelf, satisfied with my attempt in the figuring of out. But then every single time you walk into the room again, your Rubik's Cube is shuffled. I feel like that's kind of what life is like, right? Like as soon as you figure things out for yourself about what it is you want, about who you are, where you are needed, what sense of purpose you extract from this thing we call life. I wonder if the needs are reset, if the stakes are reshuffled. It seems that way for me at least. Because, like it's a weird fractal of, and Brother Ryan said it beautifully today, of like moving out of my home. I'm like getting a speed run of like all of the outside of living in my home experiences that can be had. Feels like there's this sense of urgency of figuring it out. And it is exhausting. And you friends have probably experienced it yourself. Yeah. But I'll figure it out. Don't you worry. It'll be figured out. It's overrated because as soon as it's figured out, I'll have to be figuring out other things. Despite despite my figuring it out, right? I think that's maybe the thing I'm supposed to just like consolidate in myself. Is that yes, figuring things out is overrated. Also, figuring things out is necessary. Also, figuring things out doesn't mean less figuring things out. It just means figuring different things out. Yes. More? Don't be so hard on yourself if you're not figuring it out fast enough. That's a good one. That one we can put in our pipes and smoke. Yeah. More? Be gentle with others as they figure it out. Yeah, good. That's good. I like that one too. More? Kristen's wisdom has looped back. You can't figure it all out. Nice. Yeah, okay. I can take all of those close to heart. It's something we learn and try to pass on. Maybe one day the world will have it all figured out. No, I don't know. I don't think so. It sounds nice. It does sound nice, but again, figuring it out is overrated. It's as overrated as this. There's no such thing kind of vibe. Literally can't because infinity. But damn it, I'll take as much on as I'm capable of loving. Yeah. Yeah. Figure out the parts that you can figure out, right? As like a sense of pride. And I feel maybe even just like echoing Jovan's words directly, taking in as much as I am capable of loving. Figuring out as much as I am capable of loving. Figuring out how capable I am of loving, right? By loving as much as I am capable of. Yes. Now that is some figuring of out I can get behind. This is the way. Until then, we flower and bloom in the light and rejoice in the moment of the realization that this impossibility is better chipped away piece by piece. I feel weirdly enough, the fact that you say those words exactly, the thing that's coming up in my mind, Agent K, is that instead of seeing it as like we're chipping away at this thing, right? Instead of seeing it as an impossibility, because it is impossible to figure it all out, right? And maybe that brings into your mind a sense of dread, of hopelessness. Oh, I'll never figure it out. However, in that analogy that Agent K just shared with us, imagining the figuring of out as a massive block of rock, right, marble, and then you chipping away at your life, at your block of marble, trying to figure it out. Yes, you will never figure it all out because the objective is not to chip the block until there is one more chip left of the block and then to chip that block, that piece of block away and then to be done with the block. That's not that's not what you were supposed to do, right? As we chip away, all of that stuff, all of that unfigured out stuff that stays hidden can be dressed, can be sculpted in a facade that you would call your figuring it out, that you would call your understanding of life, right? So life, block of marble, figuring it out, chipping away at that block. As you're figuring things out, you're basically trying to envision some sort of shape, some sort of ideal future for yourself, right? What that looks like, who is surrounding you, how you spend your day-to-day life, right? That's you chipping away at the block. But you don't want no block, all right? You don't want to be done with the figuring it out because you might figure it out. You might figure out an ideal pattern about how you want to live your life. And then live your life like that for 22 years. And then find it in yourself that there is now this call to figure out something else that you would also like. All right? And I feel for me, that's the part of life that I'm now looking forward to more than anything. Is where we as a species have gotten past these trivial figurings of out and upgrade to a higher dimensional of figuring out. Because again, if figuring out is overrated, then we should definitely not occupy the human psyche with figuring out the trivial, right? Is there is there more ratedness to figuring out important problems? I would like to believe so. We are still like curing cancer right now, so I wanted to like make the whole figuring out the whole cancer problem. It's just such a big problem, multi-plethora problem, but curing cancer as a problem that we're trying to figure out. Versus figuring out how to open a child-proof pill bottle, right? Both of them are figuring things out. However, we apply more importance to solving certain problems. Okay. They say Atlantis was that way before it fell. I would be surprised, bruh. Nope. No end to self-discovery because the more we figure out, transforming the way we used to understand, we're a new person to figure out tomorrow. Yeah, even if it's just a little bit. I feel those little bits, Shell is here. I feel those little bits are the parts that are the finishings, right? That it is that little bit you do at the end of your art that makes such a big difference. And for me, that little bit is my coloring process, right? Like I spend a bunch of time making my flower, and then I put a little bit extra in with my colors at the end. So, yeah, I feel that 100%. Oh, you are doing great stuff, Melt. Your resilience and attitude are everything. Yeah, and that can't be taken from me. Alright, you can try. You can try and take my resilience. You can try and take my attitude. You'll have too much in your hands. Alright? You'll have to have help. You'll have to have multiple dudes that helps you carry and all of this resilience and attitude, bro. The head grows bigger still. Bless you. Thank you, Shao. Thank you for honoring me, friend. Also, what someone figured out for self could be anecdotal, untrue to another. Perspectives on perspectives. Beautifully said. Yeah. Right? Like the figuring of out for one person is not the same figuring out for another. There is some overlap sometimes, right? When it comes to scientific wisdom, when it comes to sometimes even anecdotal wisdom. However, when it comes to certain things, for instance, like the weed fractal, for certain people, they don't enjoy weed, right? And there is now literal scientific basis, understanding the neurology, understanding the gene expression about why certain people don't appreciate the experience and others do, right? So me saying weed makes me feel great, makes me feel calm, makes me feel less judgmental of myself and others, right? To another person might be weed makes me feel anxious. Weed makes me feel, like my heart is racing. Weed makes me feel like I'm considering everything I did wrong in life. And both of our figuring stuff out, right? And I had to figure that out for myself, and maybe they figured that out for themselves as well, right? Came to different conclusions about the exact same thing. I feel like maybe that's like another dimensional perspective that you might have to be patient with other people figuring things out, and then you would have to be understanding when they come to different conclusions than you have. That's like a double whammy. That's hard for me to do. Both of those things are hard for me to do. It's hard for me to wait for people to figure things out, and it's double hard for me if they come to different conclusions. Love is true. Duck Dad, bless you, bro. It's nice seeing you. Figure out emotional maturity. Don't act in a way that makes you have to apologize after. That's a good point. Weirdly enough, it's not exactly the same thought, but I had this thought today driving, where I was thinking about privacy. We were driving past these, like what was like bamboo, like dividers, like room dividers, right, being sold next to the road. And I think to myself, that's probably like a very cheap option to at least create some division if you're living in like very low cost housing in South Africa. And thinking about how like that is something that we now need as a modern human, and wondering why. And then thinking about that sense of shame you're talking about, Zano, right? Like not acting in a way that you would have to apologize after. However, there are acting in ways where you don't have to apologize, but you might still end up receiving some scrutiny or judgment, right? People will look at you in a certain way because of your way of acting. And I wonder how much of our need for privacy comes from that. Right? Like for instance, I'm kind of like that of eating. Like I don't particularly think that I should be ashamed of eating. Unfortunately, I have been a lot, and that's a part of my figuring it out that I need to do. However, there is still this experience of discomfort. Like if a person just stares at you while you're eating something, I don't know if I'm weird for not liking that. I don't know if it's biology, right? Is there something in my biology where being watched while you eat means that they're a threat to your food? But it's never like, I never at least feel this sense of like, no, don't take my food when they stare at me. It's more like, stop staring at me. I'm eating right now. Is it an ego thing? Do I not want to be seen eating? Is it not gracious to eat food? Is it too close to the savage that I am pretending not to be? There you go. Privacy. How do you feel about privacy? Do you believe in privacy? Privacy is an invention. Did you know that? We invented it recently, technically. Oh, no. Morning again. Love TV. Shell. New chips on the block. Maybe that's why they say it's a small thing. Your input and perspective adds to mine, and we may influence each other's chips along the way. New chips on the block, new chips off the block. This is how we grow. This is how we consciously evolve, Agent K. Science doesn't have wisdom. Hey Google, define wisdom. The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of being wise. I don't know if I agree with you, Doctor, just based on what I'm feeling right now. Like those fractals do not mesh with not being science, right? Like if I have a bunch of experience in a certain field because of my science, that would be wisdom. If I have a bunch of knowledge because of my science, that would be wisdom. If I know which decisions to make because of my science, that would be good judgment. And if I can apply all of my scientific understanding, that would give me the quality of being wise. Right? I get what you're saying though, right? Because today's stream topic is about figuring it out. And I think the point Dad is making is the difference between figuring out things in science and how that wisdom applies to our lives as people, and versus figuring it out when it comes to our relationships, our own personal demeanor, how we carry ourselves in the world, figuring out our own bullshit so we can be our authentic selves instead of some sort of limping hurt animal of ourselves, right? So I get what you're saying too. Scientists don't care. Wait a second. Science doesn't have wisdom, only has forward progress. No, not really. I mean, the science is what is telling us that global warming is a thing. That is literally calling us to slow down. The science is doing that too. That's wisdom in my mind. That's wise to heed that science. The scientists do care. Those scientists care a lot because, all of us, it implicates all of us. If they could, they only care if they do. If they should, they only care if they do. They only care if they should. I mean, again, we're like using the word scientist like it's some sort of creature that roams the earth, right? Scientist is a person, and most people care about things. They might only care about themselves and their own well-being, but there are a lot of us, and there are a lot of scientists, and all of us have figured out different values for ourselves. And due to these values, we care about different things. All right, so I feel like, again, it's maybe a little bit like the reason I'm getting defensive is because of the stereotype. I think shame started about when we started figuring things out too much. Good take you have there, actually, Agent K. We get too comfortable, and look at us compared to our ancestors. We are baby beyond belief relative to their struggles. This is true. Like the level of comfort when we just are used to, never mind even take for granted. There's like a take for granted, and then there's like a I'm used to this. This is how it is, right? The fact that I have like a yoga mat underneath me that adds like this much soft in between me and tiles or rock in the old fractal. Like legitimately, if I was a cave person, I would probably kill another cave person for this yoga mat. That sounds a little bit extreme, but you get the point I'm making, right? Like the things we take for granted. I literally step on this thing. Like actually step on it. Bless you. I see Katie is here too. Thank you for joining us, friend. Hey lovelies, I'm going to Misstream tomorrow. I will be on a plane. So I just wanted you to know, each and every one of you is amazing. wonderful, loved, and worthy. I'm thankful you're in my life. As we are grateful for you too, Kristen. Thank you. I hope your plane flight is nice. You get to see the beautiful clouds from above. I hope you're gonna enjoy your time wherever you land. Maybe you'll join us for the yoga still. Maybe not. Maybe you're gonna be on the plane while stream is happening. I don't like to eat in front of people who aren't eating because I know what it's like to be hungry and not say anything. So like I always wait for the right setting and circumstances to eat, or I'll offer food. I feel you, Kristen. No, not Kristen's words. Jovan. She said, "Ye, Kristen, where you heading?" And my mind got taken for a loop. Yeah, this is true. I never thought about it from that perspective, so the fact that you're sharing that with me is adding to mine. Feeling like maybe they're looking at you because they're hungry and they're not saying anything. And then that puts you in an awkward position where you might feel there's an expectation. So you would want to offer your food, even though you might still be hungry in that moment. And being put in that position is uncomfortable. It's not a thing you want to be figuring out actively, right? Maybe that's the way to see it. Zano says, I saw my best friends yesterday. One of them told me she has cancer. It could be spreading. I'm sad about it, and yes, I wish I could figure it out. I've known her for 30 years. Well, this sounds like a very fucked up thing to say, Zano, and it is a fucked up thing to say. And I am admitting this. But in comparison to our ancestors, now, today, is the best time to get cancer ever. The second best time would be never. But if you had to get cancer, today would be the best day, right? Tomorrow will be better. Still, but best right now. And this is me trying to lighten the mood, maybe erroneously, by believing in our future technology. Like we are making a lot of progress, like a lot of progress. So, bless her. I'm sure she'll be okay. I've known her for 30 years. You'll know her for 30 more. Maine for a week. Nice. Bless you in Maine. Did we stop science of slamming atoms together after we used it to kill hundreds of thousands? Nope. Kept going forward. Yes, Dr. And now we're using that same science of slamming atoms together and killing hundreds of thousands of people to try and power the houses of billions. Right? So again, that is the mark of people that care. That's the mark of people that care. We haven't had nuclear Armageddon yet. I started watching the Fallout series, right? Like you get to really appreciate how much we have to be grateful for when you watch the Fallout series or play the Fallout games. Like we do live in paradise in comparison to the nuclear Armageddon world. And now we are using the nukes to generate energy. We're now trying to create fusion so we can have fusion reactors. And again, if we didn't understand, if we didn't do the science of building atomic weapons, we wouldn't be able to build these energy systems that could power the homes of billions of people in the future, that could save the lives of billions of people in the future. So yeah, stopping ourselves from sciencing because science has been used for bad, right? That's like, oh, I'm gonna make myself a knife so I, don't have to like pull on my teeth in trying to cut my meat or something, or I'm gonna get myself this axe so when I cut down trees or cut trees in pieces to warm my family in winter. And then it's like, no, don't science that axe because technically there's a science to making a good axe these days, right? You can use that axe to axe murder people, or you can use that axe to chop wood for your family to stay warm, right? Science is the same. Some people will use science for nefarious reasons, but I believe, again, if you think that's bad, then be on the good side. Don't just sit on the sidelines and be like, meh, 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 meh. Be on the good side, right? That's the only way to create balance. Yay! Joy Vive is here too. Joy Vive, bless you. I wanted to share with you that Sam was the one who gave us posing cues today. And, we were missing you there. Sending you blessings. Mm-mm-mm-mm. It's true, Melt. Maybe you can share the perspective of her as well, right? Again, it's a bad one. It's pretty morbid, but it is true. Right now is the best time ever to get cancer. In comparison to all of those who came before. Yeah, I'm sad. I've lost a few friends recently too, so if she starts to slip, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You're going to continue, Zano. You're going to continue. Because love is true. And you continuing means that there's more opportunities for you to love in the future. I believe your friend will continue to. Mano. When it hurts someone, I hope that we can comfort you. We'll be here for her always. Sending as much as I can. My dad has 2 types of cancers, and he's also much older than most people. He's 91. I'm so glad he still has his wits about him, but I worry about him every day, as I have since I was a child. Why are you worried? Like, I know this is, again, a very morbid take. It's pretty morbid. But death is not the end. Right? It might be the end of the physical form that you can interact with. And I get that that is something very valuable. But like the fear that you just communicated, like I'm thinking about like you as a child, Katie, your whole life then, in this state of like fear, the state of like dread, the state of what if, the state of worry about the passing of your dad. I believe in us eventually reaching, LEV, longevity, effective escape velocity. In other words, we figure out how to reverse aging faster than you age, which means you're basically going to be in stasis. Your body wouldn't have to age the way it does right now. And due to that, we're going to live thousands, if not tens of thousands of years as people. But then eventually there will still be what we consider, a state of impermanence, a dying into. One of the things that I've been reminding myself of is that death is not dangerous. And I know just hearing those words might generate a sense of confusion. Getting hit by a truck is dangerous. Being bit by a venomous snake, dangerous. Right? And those things can kill you. But the dying part of that experience isn't dangerous. Right? And it's not me trying to recommend the experience, very much not so. But more so to try and create like a little bit of a sense of, is it balance? Perspective on the whole situation, especially if it's paired with so much fear. Like I cannot imagine. I literally cannot imagine. I've never. But I think it's also because I've been very detached from myself as well for a very long time. So I think that probably helps. Like I'm not even worried about my own life, kind of vibes. Or at least I was for the longest time, not even worried about my own life. So like thinking about the other side of it wasn't fathomable to me. Here to share. I share the fractal of cancer and loss with too many friends and too early. That best friend of yours, right, Dr. Impermanence can remind us to be present, shines light on all of that we have to experience right in this moment. Love all you can. Yeah. Now that is in my mind, the best possible perspective, right? Instead of like a sense of worry. And this is again, I'm not trying to call anyone out. This is me trying to like remind myself of these things as well. Instead of like feeling this sense of worry, the sense of dread that a loved one is going to pass, to love them in that moment, right? To make sure they're comfortable, to make them a coffee and bring it to them and sit down with them and enjoy a coffee together. Like that kind of stuff. Because like worrying, it's like worrying about the sun rising tomorrow. The sun is going to rise tomorrow. You don't have to worry about that. People will live and die. Man, I feel so insensitive saying these things. I feel so insensitive, and I am. I am being insensitive, and I don't know if I'm being insensitive because I'm trying to cope, or if I'm trying to teach myself something. I don't believe death is the end. I think that's maybe the crux of the problem. I don't see it as a finality. I just see it as another transitory step in this experience we call ours. You know? The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. I sleep in, sorry, so tired. You don't have to be sorry. I just wanted to let you know that you are, your absence was missed and your presence is appreciated. You are loved. I was watching my cats run around and bap each other. That's also cute. I think it's the insecurity you feel as a child, knowing your dad can't play with you as much, and knowing you will die while I'm probably in my 30s. It's human to worry. I know, Katie. I'm not trying to make less your worry, trying to say your worry is unwarranted. I'm saying I don't understand it. And I'm saying as well, in trying to understand it, it brings me great pain in trying to figure that out. Right? Like that's the point I'm making. And for me, the way I figured that out is in believing in the permanent part of of impermanence. Right? I believe if impermanence is a thing, surely permanence is also a thing. And I believe those two things are in polarity with each other. And in that polarity, change is the impermanent, and the unchanged is the permanent. And again, higher dimensionally again, the unchanged is masculine, right? Like not with like genitalia, but with polarity, like the positive and negative pole on a magnet. And that masculine is a consciousness, an observer, a perspective of this reality. And it doesn't change. It's always that exact same loving consciousness, opening its eyes to experience something by no other reason, by no other power than to love. Right? And then the thing that's being loved is the change, is the impermanence, is the flower growing, blooming beautifully, and then dying back into the earth. Right? That unchanged consciousness can witness that whole experience happening and is unchanged. Your feelings can be changed, your emotional state can be changed. But the thing that is consciously observing that doesn't change, is unaffected, right? And I don't know if that is a sense of indifference or maybe just extreme loving acceptance. I'm gonna believe the latter, the last one. Yeah. All right. It's human to grieve in plain sight. I don't shame myself for it. I've come to terms with it better. I hope I got to, communicate my perspective properly as well. Did someone Yowski Bobbity in here? Yowski Bobs, dude. It's nice having you, Gab. Bless you, bro. Thank you, dude. Gobbity Goo sent messages on yesterday's stream as well, and I just thank God for being a part of the team that's helping me rebuild after things get broken into. Alright. Love you, bro. It's nice having you here, man. Death is the end of the senses, the end of the physical meat suit. But being on the other side isn't much different, at least what I've been told. From what I've experienced, being on the other side is a lot of free, right? There's so many different ways to consider being free. That space is like free on steroids, right? Like information is shared freely, beauty is shared freely, connections are shared freely. There's not exactly the same need for sustenance, but if there was, that is free as well. And even though that freedom is beautiful and expansive, right, we do end up concentrating down to this node of consciousness to consider this one linear perspective. The best thing. Hi everyone. I'm going through mental health struggles and trying to maintain, so I don't know how often I'll be here. Just didn't want you to think I flaked off. Love you all. I'll be back. Love you, Nancy. We're here for you if you need any help. We'll show up for you nonetheless. And when you find yourself back in the space, we'll be happy to greet you. Keeping the good vibes for you. Bless you. Thank you, Katie. Big hugs. I'm here. As much out as much or as little as you need. My mental health is also crap on a stick. Welcome to the human experience, where we have bad mental health and we're struggling to survive. All messages. I do believe I haven't switched to all messages, but I don't know if I'm missing any. We'll see. Let me know if I'm missing any. How beautiful dog. That's great advice, love. Bless. My cars have been broken into like half a dozen times. Usually nothing is stolen, but the feeling of violation is yucky. Yeah, it is the violation, right? The getting taken advantage of, being violated. Uh, it's it is rough. It is rough, right? It takes me down a path of being that I have actively decided not to pursue, right? I can figure out how to become the most dangerous person on the earth, be an absolute murder machine walking on two legs, right? Or I can figure out how to be so loving that everywhere I go flourishes. I'll spend my whole life figuring both out, but I know which one I want, right? I know which one is going to bring the most good into not only the lives of others, but selfishly into the life of myself, right? Being a murder machine means that I'm probably going to be murdering a lot, and that doesn't really sound like a good time to me. That sounds like a good time, right? Like imagine the amount of existential dread, the amount of second guessing, the amount of figuring out how to cope with everything. No, thank you. Not for me. I don't want to be a warrior. Not of flesh, at least. I'll be a warrior of light. I'll fight with my light. Thank you very much. You do have a way with words, Duck. I believe it was yesterday we were discussing the post. Where do you do your E? Where do you get your clothes? I want them. They're so colorful. I mean, these things have been gifted to me. All of my scarves. I have not purchased a single scarf. I say egotistically. All of them have been gifts. I say gratefully. All of them have been gifts. So that's where most of the color is coming from right now. And this, I just brought from like a strip mall. You know, basic ass. Just a mall. You just go to the mall and you walk in and you see button down shirts and you look for a pattern you like. That's basically what I did. And they make pretty flowers. Very much so. Nanji, love you so much, friend. Breathe easy knowing that you've got this. And we're here to cheer for you. Well, one time my 4K dash cam got stolen and that sucked. It was a gift! And I've since replaced it. But good news is I feel better now and it is in the past. Yeah. It's like for me, the thing that I'm kind of shocked by is how quickly I reached that point of it's in the past. I'm still kind of salty about Way being stolen, but I'm already more excited for like end of year Melt to get a new speaker buying himself a Christmas than I am salty about this version of Melt losing a speaker yesterday. I feel like I dissociate a little bit that it's yesterday, but yeah, don't care. Don't care, bro. Take my stuff, fine. Love. Love is true, dude. Think you can take love from me? Good luck. Well, good fucking luck, dude. Putting in a universal thought. I don't want to serve anymore. Yo, I'm sorry to tell you, Katie, but that's unfortunately one of the tenets of existence. Anymore. I want to make a craft business like painting and such. I really want to do it. I'm tired of working for other people. Yeah, I don't want to be I am being a little bit salty. No, not salty. I'm being coy. I'm shooting from the hip, right? Cowboy style. Cowboys don't shoot from the hip. I'm shooting from the hip, cowboy style. Okay, and I want to tell you that no matter what you do in this life, you'll be of service. You'll have to be of service. That's literally this social contract, right? You'll just serve people in the way of exact words, uh, painting and such. Maybe you should talk to Zano a little bit. She right now is giving like classes where she helps people painting and such. You can start a business by yourself, where you can basically, set up like little meets where you teach people basic skills. I don't know if you're already painting, Katie, but there is no getting out of service. You're gonna have to serve. That's how it is. That's just how it is. Should I make more coffee? Maybe. Flowers have been bomb lately. Yesterday was lovely. Thank you, Joy V. I did actually share today's flower. I'm happy that you're approving. I'm also liking them. Let me show our friends the last 5 flowers. Nyum, nyum, nyum. Nyum, nyum, nyum. This was number 5. I showed you this one a little bit ago. Man, the lighting. I'll move you back here again. Yesterday's flower. That's it. Day before yesterday. There we go. I really liked how these colors turned out. And then this was number 1. I made these 2 little heartsies pushing up against each other, honoring the love that is on a pedestal. This was the flower that Joy Beef commented that day on the colors of the scarf as well, where she was like, today's flower is gonna be so sick. And I was like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, some nice swoopies. Make flowers. Make pretty. Serve ye eyeballs with pretty things, so ye may be seeing pretty things. Lurk mode on. Love you, Jovan. We'll see you again soon. Your flowers look like they should be breathing. Weirdly enough, when you are on high dose psychedelics, they do breathe. I found this out by Max. He mentioned to me that he is ready for a proper heroic dose, and I am a medicine man, so I took him through it. Took him through his heroic dose. Gave him 5.55 grams of mushrooms. The type you can eat. The type you can eat, of course. And then we were sitting out here, we were playing some music, we were thinking about things, talking about circumstances, talking about pasts. And then I took out my tablet and I started showing him flowers. And I was like paging through these flowers. Like I showed him probably like 200 of them. And then eventually, like you can literally feel in that state of mind. I didn't take anything with him because I need to be a guide. But even just looking at it, imagining what he's seeing, feeling that, like figuring out happening in me too. It was literally like near close my eyes and appreciate all of the things that I've seen. And then we have a conversation about that experience where I was paging him through the flowers. And he goes, uh, what flowers did you show me yesterday? And I mean, what do you mean, what flowers? He's like, did you have like another folder? And I mean, and I'm like, no, I only have like the one like main folder for all of my main flowers. He goes, the ones that are still? I'm like, yeah, none of them move off my main flowers. He's like, dude, literally yesterday, while you were paging through those flowers, it felt like you were showing me videos. And he mentioned that for all of them, where it literally looks like it is alive and like moving in and out of itself. I don't get to see stuff like that. I can take as much psychedelics as I want to. Maybe I haven't taken enough. I've taken a lot though. And it doesn't do that for me. Man, it doesn't do that. It makes things very clear. I'm talking about figuring things out. It helps me figure things out. Right? Maybe if I was watching reality melt in front of my eyes, I melt. When I take psychedelics, I'm the one that melts, not reality. Reality stays stable. I think that's the joke for me. I think I'm gonna sit out for a few minutes, but I'll keep the screen on. It's okay, Katie. Bless you, friend. Love you, friends. Have the most beautifulest day. Thank you, Jovan. Blessing us again. I wish I had you, Melt, to come and be my trip sitter. I've never done a heroic dose. I don't want to do it solo. Yeah, it is an experience to have. I did mine solo, but for the same reason that you might not want to do your solo. Some people are scared of what might happen, what they might become, what they might see in an experience like that, and might want, the help of someone. And again, I revel in the opportunity to help someone through an experience like that. However, for my journeys, it's kind of like the opposite, where I have to be present. Lose my mind or not, I have to go through it alone. And I weirdly enough, enjoy psychedelics more with other people than I do alone at this point. Because if I take them alone, I know uh, I'm not here to have a good time. I will have a good time eventually, but that's not why I'm here, alright? It's more like, oh wait, dude. So how about this bypassing you've been doing? How about all of these things you haven't been thinking about? How about all of this stuff? You ready for this? You left unfigured out. How about that, dude? And then I have to figure my own nonsense out. And then if I actually do the work, I am a lot of good time afterwards. But if I don't, I just stay. I stay in that state of like, what the hell is going on? How is any of this real? Right? Like the sense of a surreality is the thing that keeps coming back for me as well. Getting to look at my hand, getting to consider that there are bones underneath, that there are tendons connected to me, that there is hairs stacked on top of each other, slowly extruding, creating hard surfaces. That there's blood flowing, that there are electrical signals being sent. And that ultimately this one is mine. This is my hand, I say. The hand I use to feed my face. And I'll get to see it change. Maybe it'll get old. Maybe it will get replaced. I wonder how that would feel, right? 50 years pass. The Cyber Arms 5000s, are on sale. And I replace my arms with Cyber Arms. I'm gonna be sitting in this moment, looking at my hand, and it will be a robo hand. And I'll be able to move it. And I'll be able to feel. I'll be able to feel more, technically. You can't do that. Does it make me feel more dissociative or less dissociative? Too far in the future for me to say right now. But I'll look at these hands multiple times in the meanwhile, appreciating them. Not to mention, it would probably be fun. We could play some drums. That would actually be a whole vibe. Gotta go. Bye, guys. Bless you, Katie. That should be a service you could pay people to perform for you. Bring a strip. Sherpa is more and more in demand these days. Bring a trip. Sherpa. I mean, weirdly enough, I could be that. I rock up looking like this with a drum on my shoulder. Very, very disinterested, looking like he's climbed this mountain a billion trillion times. And yeah, let's go up the mountain again. Yay! Right? And then as you keep climbing the mountain with Sherpa guy, you realize he's actually a cool guy. Right? The story evolves. And then, by the end of the trip, all of you were smiling and playing drums together. But you had to prove to Sherpa man that you're cool or whatever. Yes. Yes, this is my calling now. I'll probably do it, Best part is I'll even do it for free. But you know what the joke is? If I don't ask money, people won't take me seriously. How about that? How about that? No, I want to offer you this service. Why? Because it would be a nice thing to do. Why do you want to do something nice for me? Because I like doing nice things? Oh, you like doing nice things, do you? How does that work out for you? Why am I in this line of questioning? Why am I putting myself through this line of questioning right now? Oh, no. Okay, I think it is about time for us to pull a card. I think I'll vape one more time. I think we're gonna try something else. It's true, people value things more than they have to pay for them. People value things more when they have to pay for them. Yeah. Yeah. Having my stuff stolen makes you, in hindsight, value your things as well. This stuff is called Sapphire Scout. I have a few little Nikes left. I haven't been vaping any other weed than my own as of late. Surprise, surprise. And now that I've been vaping my own weed as much as I have, I get to come back to the stuff I buy with new eyes. I get to figure out what I like. Skippy Buppety, you go right in there, and then I'll have my teeth eat you. Yes, sir. Some hockey sticks. There's an analogy there that I don't get. But I'll take it as a sign of love. That is true. Skibbity boppity boop. Yeah, I did think it's the 11-11 one, but I don't know. I think it's because the French toast sticks. It's 11-11. Oh, well, just as I looked, it's 12 minutes past, but it's also the 12th of April, so I approve these synchronicities too. Love is true. French toast sticks is done so rarely now. We don't recognize it anymore. It's true. It's true. We used to get reminded by Shannon of 11-11 time as well, remember? Back in the day. Back when we were a bunch of youngins. Back in the far, far. Alright. My dino map has been snaggled. So without further ado, I can set an intention. What is my intention? My intention is to acknowledge that I have some things figured out. That I can be a little bit less rough on myself because I have some things figured out. Mm-hmm. Tastes nice. Yeah. This one is very ice cream like. But kind of like cheap ice cream. Like the type of ice cream you buy from the ice cream man and his ice cream van. One more heat cycle. That should be enough. That'll do. Let's see how this one makes me feel. Neat. There was a part of my consciousness that was gripping right there. And it felt like it was letting go for a second there at least. I hurt my wrist today doing push-ups. Now it's sensitive. Like I didn't even do something weird. I was just doing push-ups and I felt it being uncomfortable, so I added more flex to my fingertips, but it was already too late. I was supposed to flex my fingertips before I got hurt. Let me open this one and close it back up again. Alright, you friends ready for a card? Yeah. Figuring it out. Weirdly enough, this card, green, I mean, You were so confident in your first answer with like the all caps and multiple E's. It very much is green. Zano. The card we pulled is the kiss. The kiss. Something to figure out, huh? There is a butterfly. There is a turtle. There are two lovers embracing one another, sharing a kiss. There are wings of light opening up above them. There are rings intersecting. There is love. There is love. So much. Card number 3. You have to make sure that your fingertips are facing the right direction when you're doing push-ups, depending on which type of push-up. I was just not adding enough pressure, right? Because like I was basically just adding all of the pressure on my wrist itself, keeping my hand too limp. If I had some pressure in my hand, right, I wouldn't have had the same problem, because now just adding pressure like that hurts me, which means that I hurt something that has biomechanically to do with adding pressure. So it's totally fine. I heal fast at least. And it's just making me aware of my hand and my wrist. Like I get to be grateful for this thing. And I get to forget about how grateful I am for it when it's not hurt. So yeah, hand appreciation day. The kiss. Earthly love and relationship. I did pull it upside down. But I do not resonate. So I'll read the right side up. Beauty and love surround this sweet kiss. It takes place in the shared space where two interlocking golden rings create a Vesica Pisces. The almond-shaped, or viewed from another angle, the eye-shaped center here symbolizes sacred space in which the kiss becomes a union of souls. This symbolic joining celebrates the coming together of whole individuals in mutual understanding, finding common ground. Love expands through this shared vision. Further represented are the marriage of heaven and earth, of light and dark, of change and the unchanged, and of elemental forces. A rainbow ring and one of stars intertwine with the gold and suggest that as we come together in tenderness and respect, we also entwine with universal energies. Relationships can inspire communion that offer us the eyes to see beyond everyday reality into realms through which we may more clearly experience our connection to all that is. This card invites you to take a holistic view of the relationships in your life. See them existing in balance and respect. Look deeply into the eyes of each of your relationships, be they intimate or casual, for business, or for any of the ways we interact with and teach each other. Feel how love feeds you and remember that nourishment, even when your friends are not around. Know that as you also share union with your own heart, know that you also share a sacred union with your own heart. Offer yourself the love and compassion, respect and care that you seek from others. Connecting with the feeling of the kiss make your heart. Connecting with the feeling of the kiss may take you to a heart space from which to heal old wounds and envision a bright future. is the card that I needed. So perfect. Thank you for kissing me. Reality. So nice. Sometimes rough kissing. Damn. Take my stuff after kissing me. But still nice. Thank you, reality. For all of the love. Connecting with the space of the kiss. Wow, in the last 3 days, I brought new green eyeglasses. I have had a butterfly perched next to me in my greenhouse, and they have experienced baby turtles while putting a fountain in a pond. The card is trying to get my attention. I'm happy that you're paying your attention like that. That is what's most important, bro, is that you're noticing your synchronicities. You can say this card is trying to get your attention, or maybe reality is just trying to remind you that you are loved. That all of these things, all of these synchronicities, all of these experiences that you have are not random. They are meticulous. And I believe this. They are intelligent. They are compassionate. They are intentional. Right? You are so loved, dear friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I think I'm gonna go get my drum. We'll know soon enough if my wrist is up to the task, but before we figure it out, I have to go get it. I'm gonna erase this right now. Please. Going to work soon to do tin sculpting crafts. That sounds sick. Bless you in your journeys, I know. Thank you for joining us. Send us photos if you're having. I'll put down my ring on the table. I'll put down my drum on the ground. I'll reposition it. Make myself comfortable. There's the shot. No forehead melt. My pants is taking away some of my thumb. I will make less of you. There we go. That totally works. I've had my fun. Okay, now I've had my. Stop myself. Oh! It only has so much swivel on its neck, and I keep finding the end point of my swivel. There we go. Now we can basically make eye contact. We get to be. You're like a little bit taller than me right now, but that's fine. I'm not insecure like that, or whatever. Oh, okay. Whatever. I posted some examples of today's crafted creative space. I'll check it out. Mel, golden light. Mel looks like he's dipped in gold. Thank you, JV, for taking the time to write a sentence like that. That's awesome. Goodbye, friends. See you tomorrow. Bless you. Shall see you soon. Take my stuff after hard kissing. South Africa dating sounds rough. I'm more talking about reality, right? Like the feminine is everything. I am the unchanged consciousness. I can be taped to this wall. And if I didn't die of starvation, I didn't need to go to the bathroom. I could literally be unchanged consciousness. Just looking out at this experience, watching trees keep growing, watching grass come and go, watching the rocks slowly melt away, watching this building fall apart around me. Consciousness can go for something like that, right? It's the attached part of me that gets hurt, right? Because technically it is the feminine, it's reality, it's the change that took my shit as well. So even though reality is actively kissing me so gently, with the cold wind on my face, with the softness of this cushion underneath me, with the love of your friends, still my stuff gets taken. Stuff still got taken. Okay, we're gonna see Zano's examples, and then we're gonna say goodbye. Oh, flower of life. They're making these things. I'm guessing you can make whatever shape you want. Oh, that's also one of them. I could feel Zano's mind being like, that's also one of them. Oh, that's cool. That one just got a little bit painted. So you can make, I guess, whatever you want to. That is pretty sweet. Very cool. I approve. I approve this message. Right? You're like, what do you mean, Mel? This is a message. This is like a photo of you, technically. Right? This is like a higher dimensional understanding. Or is it higher dimensional? Might be lower dimensional, technically. Lower dimensional understanding of what you are. You flower of life, you. You flower of life. New comments loading. Loading. Gonna be loadings any seconds now. Loaded. Yeah, the fishy too. Bless. Alright. We are. I love that fishy. It is a cool fishy. Pretty fishy looking fishy. Thank you, friends, for blessing me. I hope you have the most wonderful, glorious, absolutely spectacular, and its awe-inspiring wonder. A day so filled with splendor that you would find yourself absolutely aghast at the possibility that despite how much you have to figure out, things happen figured out for you too. At least a lot of the things, right? Not having to look for water, food, or shelter right now, immediately, necessarily. I appreciate you for spending some time figuring out whatever this is with me today. I hope you have an amazing one! We got, boom, another goodbye message on top of goodbye message. I thought Jo was completely lurking out, and she's still here for us to send us a goodbye message. Yeah, you put felt under the 10. Yeah, and then the paper, and you can just trace over it. That is pretty cool. And you can just like accentuate probably. Again, have the most beautiful day, everyone. You're so realistically and truthfully esteemed. Mind, mind meandering, melt more, and all of you oh so super sublime, totally transcendent, excitingly exquisite, divine, definitely divine, seriously supreme, euphorically elating, furiously fantastical, graciously great, authentic, wholesome, authentically awesome, wholesome humanimal queer creatures figuring out all thisness. Figuring out thisness. It's none of your business. I think I like it more than business. I'm gonna start calling it my business. Yeah, I just started a business. You started a what? A business? It's business. No, it's business. Because the person who first started using the word, didn't know what to call it. And there was so much stuff that he was just like, this, you know. What have you been saying this whole time? Business? Business. Where's the B, bro? It's the H. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you, Jovan, for adding like a note of humor in my heart as well. As we say goodbye, I have now figured out, once again, effectively and truthfully, that love is true. Thank you, friends, for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye, everybody's.